Welcome to the Women's National League wrap for Series 22. It's just myself and Alanna today, but lots to discuss. I think we'll start probably with one of the most exciting games of the weekend for me anyway, Cork City beating DLR Waves 4-1. I guess you could say it was a bit of an upset, City getting the edge, and it was a huge win for them. Alanna, what was it, do you think, that set them apart?
Yeah, as I said, I don't think it can be understated how big of an upset was in terms of table position anyways. Like DLR were 22 points ahead of Cork before the fixture. So for City to rob all three is huge, but they didn't just do so in dogged effort and luck. It was pure flair they inflicted on DLR. And they had lots of like triangular link-up play with Sarah McKevitt, Sean McCarthy and Eva Mangan. And it worked wonders for them there to break down, because DLR tried to employ kind of a high press attack and it didn't really work out for them come the end of the game anyways. They were tiring and Cork just kind of capitalised on that. And of course then on top of it all you had Laura Shine, who at 17 put away a hat-trick. And you just had to admire them at the weekend. It just all kind of clicked, and kudos to their manager there for knowing how to combat all of DLR's tricks, I suppose.
Yeah, it was great to see because, Cork were playing great football against a really tough side. DLR Waves, they're a slick team themselves. So, yeah, I think it was great for the league. A bit of a shake-up, a bit of an unexpected win, but yeah, great for City. Moving on then, Peamount beat Bohemians 3-0. They go 4 points clear at the top. Do you think there's any catching them now?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that now. It's funny because I feel we were all distracted by Shell's kind of stunning showcases over the summer. You kind of forgot about Wexford were even there. But as you say, both of them are 4 points clear of Peamount, and it's hard to see anyone coming in within touching distance, because it would take not only one massive upset, because it's the 4 points, it will probably take two massive upsets to knock Peamount off their stride. And experience just seeps through them every time they play, and it would be really difficult to see anyone else throw their hat in the ring out of Wexford or Shells, because it would really take a shock result for someone to challenge them by the end of the season.
Yeah, it's been mad to watch that, top three race, and to have Wexford edging ahead of Shelburne, who've not been near that third spot really for a while. It's mad, and I think we've been reluctant to say all season, reluctant to try and call it, but I think now it might look like Peamount are just too far gone, but you never know, anything can happen. And then Galway just narrowly edged out Treaty 1-0. Do you think they're finding form again? We've seen a few good performances from Galway over the last few weeks. Maybe they're getting used to kind of the new shake-up within the club and things like that. Is that do you think you've been noticing that?
Yeah, that one was a fantastic battle down in Mendisi Park. Like, you didn't know really which way it was going to swing at all. You had obviously all the internationals, both underage and senior level, coming back in, as well as everyone who was sat out. So the hunger was really clear in the output on the pitch. But I think, as you say, Galway have been really impressive both on and off the pitch this season. I think the work they're doing behind the scenes in terms of their board appointments and Ruth Fahy as the CEO is a real mark of intent. But just back to that game, Treaty were really thrown out of their momentum with two subs in the opening 25 minutes. But I suppose Galway had it all to do then, and they did start with the goal then in that one. But I think Michaela Mitchell had a superb game in that one. So if that doesn't credit Galway's attack with some amount of fantastic play, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you there. Mitchell had a really good game, and she has been really good all season. Obviously, Treaty have suffered some bad losses and things like that, but the hunger is there and the talent is there as well. And in the coming years, I've no doubt that they're going to keep getting better. And then finally, our fourth game was a hammering. Wexford Youths 7 at Lone Town 1. The youngsters kind of showing everybody up in that game. I know the commentators were kind of talking about it a little bit throughout the game. these young players being the future of the club, do you think that they can be the difference makers in years to come? As we said earlier, maybe they're not going to win the league this year, but in the following years, do you think players like Ellen Malloy, Aoibhinn Clancy, they're going to be the difference makers?
Yeah, definitely. This one kind of came out of nowhere. I suppose if you were watching for the first 10 minutes, you'd go, "Oh, Athlone are still in it." You know, Aoife Harna got that goal, and you were thinking, "Oh, maybe this one's going to be another turn for the Bucks here." But a brace each from Tegan Lynch, Ellen Malloy, and Ciara Crosby. I don't think you could ask much more. As you say, they're just so talented. The question, I suppose, and it's an interesting debate to have, is whether we can hold on to them in the league, because they are so exceptional. You'd wonder, would someone else be coming in for them? But hopefully, I suppose we can keep them here, because, as you say, they are really the future of both Wexford, let's say the WNL, and that Ireland squad. You'd have to be keeping an eye towards as well. You'd have to look no further than that score sheet. And I suppose Aoibhinn Clancy as well, who for me is probably the young player of the season so far anyways, to see their class. And if the WNL can in fact keep hold of them, Wexford are going to be a scary sight in the coming years.
And you briefly touched on it there, the Ireland squad, the future of the team. We had a great representation of Women's National League players in both underage and the senior camps. And I know we touched on it a little bit before, but what Women's National League player do you think will be next to get their call up?
Yeah, I suppose we have a myriad of keepers at our disposal in the Women's National League that are just exceptional. Maybe you could talk maybe Erica Burke for Bohemians up front there, or you could go Michaela Mitchell, as we mentioned, for Treaty there in net. They've both been really bright lights in the WNL. Janice Slattery is up there as well, but I suppose the main one for me, back on the mantra, would be Eleanor Ryan Doyle. I think just her shooting ability and just what she does off the ball as well is just superb. And if we could utilise it in the Ireland team, we might really get something going there, because last week Ireland were a phenomenon to watch, especially newcomer Lucy Quinn, I think, was fantastic, but also your WNL exploits like Savannah McCarthy had a brilliant game there. So hopefully it's the only way is up for the women's national team squad.
Yeah, it was great for Savannah to get in the starting 11 and then play the 90 minutes in that amazing win. And of course, it's great to be back after the international break to have some Women's National League action. And we've got more coming up during the week. We've got a midweek game and we've also got weekend fixtures. So they will all be live on LOI TV. And Alanna, thanks very much for chatting with me again this week, and I'll speak to you again soon.
No worries.